What is education? Education is to get and to acquire knowledge about knowledge itself. This is simply because knowledge is the knowledge about knowledge itself. If you don't understand that which is producing knowledge, then you cannot have insight, the insight that truly leads to knowledge. Which means that education is to get and to acquire and to see and to understand the knowledge about knowledge itself. Simply because knowledge, that which knowledge is to see and understand the knowledge about knowledge itself, how it is produced, how do we produce knowledge, how do we relate, or how does the mind relate to that which is so-called knowledge. What we call knowledge is not knowledge. What we call knowledge is hypothesis and interpretation and information. It's like journalism compared to true insight. Insight is that which knowledge is. Knowledge is a word that has some kind of a value, but insight is a word and a phenomenon inside of us that has extremely higher value, much higher value than that which we call knowledge. Insight is that which is true knowledge. Insight is to understand what it is that creates and produces so-called knowledge. These professors are not real, true insight persons. They are not real teachers. They are not real educators, simply because they don't understand the human program. Jordan Peterson has, of course, a lot more knowledge and insight than the normal Professor Schmuck from Idaho or Connecticut or Wisconsin. Sometimes he's good, sometimes it's quite outrageous. And when he says that he's helping, especially young men, to become better in their own lives, well, yes, to some extent, of course, yes, because he helps them to organize that in them which is their potentiality for growth and knowledge, and also, of course, insight and self-management. When I listen also to his talks about religion with the people that he calls the most enlightened and wise, clever bishops and priests of Christianity, it's just how their interpretation machine is at work. And I can explain everything when it comes to how your interpretation machine works, and how you explain the world, how you explain religion, how you explain that which you call truth. You know, I can explain all of that. I can decipher it, deconstruct it, piece by piece. It's not difficult at all, because I know the human program. And the human program is that which is producing knowledge, and it is that which is interpreting knowledge, and it is that which is creating the world as we see and perceive it and also understand it. The human program is that which creates the world as we relate to it. We relate to a world which is produced by our own human program. So it's true when people say that we're living in a simulation, but we're living in a simulation of our own brain. This is a deep insight. People has to understand that. We are living in a simulation which is created by our own brain, by the totality of our mind-brain system, of the brainstem, of the amygdala, of the midbrain, of the lower brain, of the upper brain, of the frontal cortex. This is just how it is. We're living inside our own interpretation machine. And when you cannot see through the program in which you live, you are blind, you're ignorant, and it doesn't matter whether you call yourself Jordan Peterson or a bishop or a pope or whatever you like to call yourself. doesn't matter. You're still living inside your own interpretation machine. And knowledge means to understand this and to see why it has to be so. It has to be so because of the interpretation machine that is producing the world as we experience it. I have tried for 345 million years to explain this, but it's not possible, it seems, because people don't like knowledge. They don't like insight because it hurts their self-image. You know, they get personally offended by truth. People are so stuck in their own self-image, in that which we call the false self in psychological spirituality. They are so stuck in their own false self, in their identification model of their own self-image, that they take things personally. They take it as an offense. They get offended if someone comes to poke a stick up their ass and say, "Hey, chew on this one, you little twat, you little blind, ignorant fool." And that which you call knowledge is just a perception, it's just a conceptualization. It's just the way that your interpretation machine delivers information to the projection machine that constitutes the projections that you give out to this world, and which you believe because you follow that which your mind is telling you. You are a donkey following the carrot. You have a carrot in front of your eyes because your mind is producing something in your perception, and you're following that quite blindly because you don't know that what matters is that which can see this process. That which is important is that which can see the whole donkey-carrot process. But you don't know that because you believe that which you see in your own mind, right? Your mind is producing something for your inner eye, or for that which we can call your inner perception, and you believe in that. You believe in that image, you believe in that reproduction, or you believe in that simulation, you believe in that production of the world in quotes, right? It's a good title on a book, The World in Quotes, right? Reality in quotes. That which you believe in quotes. That which stuff is made of, in quotes. That could be a good book. Well, so you and I and all of us, we are donkeys following the carrot. We are following the carrot that we need to have knowledge of, because if we don't have knowledge about the production process of this, then we will be blind. Then we will only know appearances and not that which is creating appearances. We should not follow and believe blindly in appearances. We should know how appearances are produced, how appearances come to appear for our inner eye inside our own inner perception, in that which we see when we follow our cognitive process. We are following that which we can see with our inner eye, whether it's a thought or an image or an idea or a hunch, as we say. We are following a hunch. You know, we have a gut feeling. Well, maybe the gut feeling is more true than that which the human program is making us believe, because the human program is also that which makes it so that we believe in things in a certain way. The human program is not only producing that which we see and that which we believe in, the human program is also producing the way in which we relate to it. The human program is also producing the way which we relate to that which we see and attach to and believe in. This is a new discovery. People have to understand this. The human program is not only producing the world as we see and experience it, the human program is also producing and creating the way that we relate to it. This is about the brain, because the human program is the brain, more or less. You know, the human program is how the brain works and the interaction with the totality of the nervous system. So, the totality of the nervous system, which includes the brain, does not only produce the world for us, it also constantly is producing the way that we relate and attach to it, the way that we believe in it, the way that we come to other conclusions. And we need to have knowledge and awareness of this process. We need to know what's going on. We have to know that we are that which can see this process and how it is produced. If we want knowledge, if we want education, the thing that has value is excellence and superior insight, and we all have to accept this, especially when it comes to education and to that which we call knowledge and insight. If you don't understand how to deconstruct and understand and see your own interpretation machine, you will be a fool. But if you truly believe in exposing something that leads to knowledge and insight, then you must educate yourself. And education means the human program. It means how do we produce knowledge? How do we relate to that which we call knowledge? If you don't understand this, you have no authority. You have to come deeper than this. Get out of your ignorance, get out of your arrogance, and try to learn the basics of true insight. You must understand the human program. You must understand the interpretation machine. You must understand how the human mind relates to thought and language. You must understand how we, as people living inside the human program, relates to that which is thought and knowledge, that which we produce ourselves and that which other people produce. If you don't understand that, you shouldn't be teaching, because teaching should be elite education. Only the best of the best should be able to educate this world, if we are seeing it from an ideal perspective. But that's of course not going to happen, because the world will not accept that, because teaching and education is business, just like everything else. So the more business, the better. So the more schmucks from Idaho, the better it is, because they will get a lot of attention, and attention means money. Attention means money. It creates dollars. It moves the money around. So that's why education is a big thing, because people need it. But that which you really need for yourself as an individual, as a human heart in this world, is knowledge and insight. And that's why you need knowledge and understanding of the human program, of the interpretation machine, of that which is the true knowledge about knowledge. Not true knowledge in itself, but true knowledge about that which we call knowledge. All right? It cannot be more clear than this. Thank you very much. Thanks.